Mikey, hi. Welcome to the Penny Lane podcast.
Hi, how are you?
Doing great. I'm so happy to have you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, I feel like this has been in the works for months, maybe.
Yeah, yep, for a while now.
It's always so funny because I just personally have to have a really planned out, booked schedule for the podcast. So people will say, you need to have X trader on. And I'm like, okay, I'll reach out to them. And then I'm like, in 2.5 months, it's 6:00 on the 12th. Are you available for an interview? And people are like, I don't know what I'm doing in 2.5. Really, it's a different way of doing it. So anyway, we've had this lined up for a while, and I'm glad the day's finally here that you can come on.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I've been looking forward to it. Definitely talk about a lot of things, answer some questions, and kind of air out a bunch of stuff.
Perfect. Well, why don't you tell us just how you got into trading?
Okay, I got into trading about 2 years ago. I'm in the military, so when I started,
Oh, actually, I want to interrupt you. A lot of people DM'd me to say thank you for your service. They wanted to thank you for your service. So
thank
thank you
you,
for your
thank you, I
service.
appreciate it. Yeah, no, thank you. So I was in the military, and then I knew I wasn't going to do the whole 20 years. And I remember back in the day, I used Robinhood, and I was like, hey, I remember making $800. Like, I want to start trading again. So I started it, and I wasn't really good at it. I was using Robinhood, and I finally switched over to Thinkorswim, and I was part of a paid room,
Perfect.
trying to learn. And it took me a while to get serious about it. It was something that I gave up on a lot of stuff back then, and it was definitely something I didn't want to give up on. So I got into the books, got into the videos, found out why people are making these calls, understanding how the market works, and that's how I got into trading. I knew I wasn't gonna make a career out of the military, so I wanted to find something that I can take care of my family with, and then eventually give back to the community because I always wanted to try to help people do stuff. So that's why I got into trading.
So do you give back to the community by teaching people, or monetarily are giving back?
So yes, okay. I teach them.
Uh-huh.
I talk to people on voice. Like we have a voice chat in the real ones, and it's amazing. Like it's amazing. I talk to people. Like my DMs are always open to everybody. And then I started to do my streams. I had my first stream, Mikey Underdog Twitch. I was nervous doing it, but it was 2 hours. Had a lot of people show up. A lot of people looked at
Yeah,
it
I
so
mean,
far.
I was just watching it. Those comments were just
It was
going. People
insane.
were into
I
it.
had so much anxiety. I have
Oh, it
to
was
find
so
out a
good
better.
though.
I know. Thank you. I know. I appreciate it. It was just something I worked on for almost a year and a half, and I see so many people struggling. So it's something if I can give back and help other people, that was like the best benefit for me. It wasn't
For
I needed
sure.
money or I need people to blindly follow me while I'm trading and create channel momentum. It was all organic plays. And it felt good because I had a lot of people that would talk to me and say, hey Mikey, if I could just make like a few $100 a day or even a couple $100 a week for my family, that'd be amazing. So it was a lot of
That
those DMs that really shifted my focus. All right, I want to learn something, be consistently profitable, do it for months, and then really to give back to the community and everybody that was struggling.
So, this wasn't necessarily on the docket of what we're going to talk about, but I do want to sort of touch on the community as a whole and people who are struggling. I don't know if it's because I am more in a position, like I have the podcast and people do DM me, and I think they feel like they can tell me pretty personal. I mean, I tell personal stuff on here all the time, so I feel like they feel comfortable telling me
Mhm.
stuff. And it just seems to me like the community as a whole is really sort of struggling right now. It just seems like harder, which I have sort of thought is we all made it through August. We're all waiting for that hot fall market. We got the one big DWAC run DWAC and Fun, like we've been waiting, and then I've been trading 18 months now, and the last 7 months have just been difficult. And I understand that we were in like a crazy market before this, and
Right.
like that market's never going to return, but it almost like it feels personal, like the market is like punishing me for how easy it was last year. And I don't think that I'm the only person that feels like that. Like people are really struggling.
Right.
Do
All
you
right.
think that people are struggling more than usual, or is that just like my perspective?
No, I definitely do see a lot of people struggling. And I think it's because, all right, so if you look back in February of this year, that's when the market
Mhm.
was insane. Everything was running, sympathies were in play. It was a slap happy market. And the thing with the slap happy market is you can literally just hit the buy button on so many plays and they rip. And now they give you this big giant P&L. You're making a lot of money. It feels great. But what happens is once that dies down or doesn't last, people start slapping things again and they stray away from strategy. And that's like a big thing that I've been on. Every time I look at a chart and every time there's a runner or something going, I always try to find my strategy that's going to fit that chart. Like if I buy something and now that I've increased my size, there's more risk, to increasing your size. As soon as I hit the buy button, I want to know that I'm confident and comfortable of taking this position. And if it goes against me, I'm going to cut it. But it's more over the strategy. I think a lot of people are lacking strategy. Like when you see a chart, when something runs, you have to know how the ticker moves. Is it a big float, a small float, a medium float? You know, is it heavy? Is it a thin stock? Stuff like that. So I think when we had this hot market, or even when DWAC and Pun was running, and all the sympathies that ran with it, that's awesome. Like I was slapping it too. Slapping all the simps, was running, but after a while, you kind of know when you have to let off the gas with that, and then you have to revert to sticking to your strategy that you built. Whether it's a trader who's long, who's looking for specific patterns, or a trader who's a short, someone who's a bear shorting stuff. You have to look for those criteria. Someone who's play supply demand, an options trader, any of those type of things. You have to really revert to your strategy moreover than just a slap happy market, in my opinion. And I think that's where a lot of people are struggling in the aspect of as soon as something runs, like what are you looking for? Like why are you buying it? Like have you bought this particular pattern or style before? Or are you just entering the stock because of FOMO or it's running and you're like, hey, I want to make money. You're like people are making money, and stuff like that. That's what I think is going on with like a large community or even a lot of people, not just anybody. And it can happen with experienced traders too, of just kind of like for forgetting and reverting to the basics, I guess. Like
Mhm.
just to be, more disciplined. It's discipline. I think trading is discipline to the T.
Has your experience in the military helped you with that?
Yes, definitely. I would say the military past experience of just going through, things in life that kind of shaped me to be like where I'm at now. And I had a lot of people. One of my friends died because of trading. Um,
Really?
yeah, yeah. It was just again slap happy market. You know, he was just slapping everything, slapping stuff, slapping size, 10, 20,000 shares. Next thing you know, the hot market left, and it's like, well, I'm gonna slap this. The next thing you know, he's taking big losses, big losses. You know, and that happens. If you see a hot market, you slap 10,000 shares, 5,000 shares, or even 1,000 if that's a lot for you or anybody. And then the next day, the market's not hot. You slap it, and now you're losing thousands instead of winning. Bringing in thousands. It's how do you adjust to that? There's emotions behind the money.
Is it a personal friend or a someone you met like through the online community?
Online community. Yeah, I've been known him for a while.
Oh God, that's like
Yeah.
a massive nightmare of mine. But I mean, honestly, because my online friends are at this moment closer to me than my real life friend. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
people like I get up every morning, people are asking about my kids, my
Yeah.
dogs, my husband, like what I have going on. People just know a lot about my life. And my friends will text me and it'll be 12 hours later. I'll get back to them like, sorry, I was trading. I'm sure they're sick of it. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, what a. It's also so interest or what we do is so dangerous.
It is.
It's so dangerous.
Yeah. You have to learn how to like that. So that's why I'm so big like in voice. On my stream, I'm always talking about like, okay, like if this looks good to you, like why are you trading it? Have you traded this before? Have you back tested this? Like, does this make sense to you? Like, like is there volume behind it? Does it have news? Is it a leading gap, or is it something that's, is it or is there socials behind this? Like, Twitter pumps or, you know, alerts, tweets. What's causing this to run? And once you like fully understand those aspects and like sit back from the whole situation and actually learn how the market's moving, when it's moving and why, you'll be so much more disciplined. And like for me lately, because it's just been like really good, and there's still better traders than me, people who are making way more than me, but I think it's the consistency
Mm-hmm.
and the confidence that I've built over this long period of time that has taken me to the next level, per se. And that right there has been helping so many other people build their confidence and their trades. And, you know, it's been nice. It's definitely been nice.
And how um could you talk me through your how you got from the paid room into real ones?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No. So it was me, Herb, Diz, Zen. We used to trade in voice just together. It was just us. A couple other guys, KG, and we were trading in voice, and then eventually, I was in a paid room, and like, they just started to seem like it was just like a small circle, and like
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to get more exposure. I wanted to learn more from other traders, and I learned so much from like Bob, you know, RCB, Fappy, even other traders, like just seeing their perspectives, like whether if they're an options trader, a large cap trader, hearing other people's like how are their views on it, like how they're just in general, just so when I was in a paid room, it was like the growth kind of just stopped. There wasn't too much you can do. Not a lot more people wanted to join, and I wanted to learn from other people, and of course they didn't want to come in because it was paid. It's a paid room. So from there it just kind of went, and I followed him. That's my brother.
Yeah, yeah,
Herb went too, so like I was going where my boys were going, like I had to.
yeah.
So that eventually that's how we went there, and then Bob let us do the voice thing still, which was great because I can't trade with like I don't know how traders do it where they just type something, they have a paragraph, the name, the chart, and then send it. To me that's like, all right, you're probably already in the trade before,
Sure.
you know,
Sure.
you
Yeah.
know, which I get it. I don't think voice was like incorporated. You know, I don't think people like really were comfortable doing that because you take losses. Like I take losses, it's normal. So we started doing voice in there, and it's just been amazing because other experienced traders are allowed to be in voice too, and just to learn from different people's perspectives, and at the same time still trust your own strategy, which is amazing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's how we got into the real ones. Fault is didn't want to be part of like this paid program anymore because I don't know. I think I get the whole paid thing. People want to do it, but at the same time, we make our money in the market, you know.
So I I was in 2 paid rooms prior to Brad Mullins starting MTA, and was fine to pay. Like, I wanted to learn, I was fine to pay. And then Brad started MTA, and it is so founded in free education that
Yeah,
I like really well, I'm a admin there. Like, I mean, MTA like gave me a role in this world. I mean, I'm just like huge into MTA. I have interviewed so many traders, Shark in particular, and you know Shark?
yes,
Yeah. And Shark has a paid room. And we talked through that. And I also understand the perspective of like weeding out the noise and just getting like a concentrated small group of traders, and having the entry fee or the subscription fee or whatever be just like high enough that people don't take it for granted, but low enough that it's not like really a barrier for entry.
hmm
And I think that is like such an interesting way to do it, because a lot of these people who have started paid rooms in the last 2 or 3 months, I do think genuinely want to be mentors to other. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I sort of feel like there's a little bit of a shift. However, I I mean, MTA is free. MTA has changed my life, and there's people in there all day, every day who will help you and mentor you. So but I just see both sides of like that coin, I guess.
yeah. I just
Yeah,
that yeah. No, I get it. I get it. I just to me, it's like, how come you can't just make your room private, or
sure,
like
sure,
right? Like, make your room
right,
private. Because if you think about it, it's like, however much you're charging, say you have, 1,000, 2,000 people. It's like, now you're bringing in this X amount of dollars, which is fine. If you're going to make it a business, that's cool. You know, I just think after a while, you know, like, you make your money in the market. Like, I think if everyone was so, like, let their egos go and just come together as like a ginormous community, like, all these rooms are working together. They're not pumping stuff. Everyone's like really putting in the work, and like, it's not, because it's not, if you look at it, it's not me versus you. Like, it's not Mikey versus Penny. It's me and you versus the market. It's like, how
right,
are we
right,
going to trade the market to bring us? Because what are we here to do? We're here to make money. Like, at the end of the day, like, we're here to bring money for our families, for us to live better lives. Change our life. So it's just, you know, I get it. Like, people do that, but you can also make your room private.
yeah,
Like, hey, like, if you're serious, you can say. If you're not, you gotta go. It's that easy.
right.
You know.
Well, I think that like that is the crux of why this is such kind of a hot button issue in the community
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
Like
It's jumping around a
I,
lot.
t-
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
I totally get it. And we were talking before we started about and everyone who listens to this podcast knows that I like need a sponsor, and that this is expensive, and I just pay for it out of my pocket, and not I don't get any sort of help paying for it. And that is like a strange I thought about starting a Patreon. I've thought about asking for donations, and it just all feels kind of icky. Like, talking about money feels icky,
Yeah.
but we're traders. Like that, like we talk about money all the time.
All
It's a
day,
weird,
right?
thing. Anyway, I would like to get to your particular strategy. Could you explain it to me very quickly, as if I was, 15 years old and opening up a Weeble? And I was
Oh,
like, hey, how do I trade?
okay, okay. So the strategy that I use, I play bull flags. I
Okay.
play I play flags. I don't play breakouts. I look for 5-minute flags, low volume
Uh huh.
pullbacks that
And
pretty much.
what 5-minute flags, you mean using 5-minute candlesticks, right? I know
Yes,
that's a dumb
yes.
question.
No, no,
Cool.
no, no, that's
Okay.
fine. Yes. So when I traded with the 5 minute chart and the 1 minute chart, and then I have my daily chart just for key levels for daily. I trade off the 5 minute because the 1 minute will fake you out way too many times. Like,
Totally.
yeah, it'll be like it'll just you'll take paper cuts after paper cuts after paper cuts. I use the 5 minute because it's a little bit more of a larger time frame, but not large enough to miss the momentum that's going on, the volatility and stuff like that. I love to trade things that are fresh. I trade the front side of the move. I don't like to trade the back side, the chop, anything that's
Okay.
past.
Well, can I ask how, other than like a tweezer top, how do you know that the move is over and like going into the backside? I mean, I struggle with that
Okay,
constantly. I'll trade the front side and be like way up, and then I trade the back side all the way back down.
okay. So it's actually something I learned from Thiz, and it's
Tell me.
crazy. It's if you ever look at a chart, you're going to see a huge exchange at the top. Once you see that with a lot of volume, I mean abnormal volume, like if you see 2, 3, 4 million, getting stuffed or people are shorting it or anything like that at the top, that's normally when the move is over. 9 times out of 10, not all the time, because some things get stuffed, continue, but you want to see that big exchange at the top.
Okay.
Once you see that, that's a sign that the bears are in control. Shorts are starting
Okay.
to get interested on any pop after that to short it down now. Also looking at the daily, keeping in mind key levels that if the stock already broke maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 on the daily, just previous resistance, like simple stuff, of any like areas, the weekly, the hourly chart, something you want to skim through. Like always skim through the hourly, the weekly, and the daily, just to give me an idea of when something has fresh news, the leading gapper has a lot of volume. Those are the key levels I'm looking for, and I'm marking
So
momentum.
we're recording this on November 13th, and so the past week we've had some big runners. Can you tell me like what were your best trades this week?
Okay, yes. Wish was one of my best
Wish.
trades.
Okay.
EVGO. Actually, hold on one second. So Sunday, I'm going over my stream of this week's trades. So one of the good trades I had was on ARTO,
Uh-huh.
EVGO, KPTO, LAZR, LCID, Lucid.
Whew,
P-
that was a good trade this week.
yeah, definitely right.
Yeah. Whew,
PPSI,
love LCID.
PPSI,
Yep.
RNXT, and believe it or not, SPCE.
Oh
And
yeah,
then
I lost a lot of money on SPCE trading
r-
the backside of that trade. Anyway,
right.
so you are volume is key for you.
Yeah, volume is key, especially when I trade off the 5. When I'm
Uh-huh.
looking for, I look for low volume pullbacks, setting up on
Okay.
a 5 minute flag. And then I realized something on the 5 minute. I use the 8 EMA on it. And if you,
Oh, interesting.
yeah, I use the 8 EMA and the
Wait, I've
20 EMA.
actually never heard that. I use the 9, and my friend Real Simple Ariel, my boy who taught me how to trade, uses the 10. How'd you
Yeah,
choose the 8?
I just had it for a while. I think something, I know uh, Warrior Trader. You guys ever hear of Ponytail? Warrior Trader?
Oh yeah,
No.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
crazy
yeah, yeah.
momentum trader. I mean, makes tons of money. And, I know people kind of dog him because he's like in and out, buying higher, selling higher. But the guy's really good at what he does. Like, that's how I learned how to trade momentum was watching him stream for a year and a half. And then I got
Was that
his,
your room? Your paid room?
no, no, it wasn't.
No.
No. Um, and then I ended up getting his course.
Hmm.
I didn't, it was for free. It was his old one. And I went through it and I applied it to how I was trading. And it just like my momentum trading just like skyrocketed. Like my
Love
profits,
that.
yeah, it just like tripled almost. Like it was insane. Because I used to always tell Tiz like, I know I can make more, and I'm super grateful. But I know like I like I'm so consistent I just need to build more confidence and taking more size. And
Mm-hmm.
once I found that, like, the confidence and looking at other momentum traders, how they trade and how they're capitalizing on it, it was just, it was crazy, like how it boomed. It was crazy.
I
So
love
I,
it.
I got
I
the
love
8
that.
EMA off him, but, and it's like, so I studied it. That's when back testing really came into play, was studying how to play the front side. You can't hesitate, right, when you're playing the front side of the move because it'll just go. Like you literally only
Right.
have sometimes 15, 20, 30 minutes to make a couple quick decisions on your entries. And I found that out. I just back tested it. I kept trading the 8 on the 5 minute, looking for these super like perfect VPA pullbacks, like low volume pullbacks on them. And even in general, if um, even on I use it on the 1 minute too. I look for things that are making sense, that are developing in key areas, whether it's breakout areas or before it or support. And it's crazy how, like, if you step back and really just look at it and see how much it actually works, and if you're disciplined enough to just keep trading those type of styles or those setups, it's crazy how your profits will just boom. Like one day you'll
Do
just,
you do you take an entry off the 8?
yes, I'll take an entry off the
Okay.
8. Sometimes I put my bids on there. If it doesn't get close, I'll take entries before it, and I'll mind my risk. Like if this doesn't hold, I'll use it around there. It's mainly, you got to really pay attention to how it's setting up,
Mm-hmm.
because not every type of patterns flag going to be the same. They might look a little
Mm-hmm.
bit crazier than the others, and it's not going to be perfect, but it's the volume behind it that makes it perfect.
You know who was a flag breakout trader is Mark Minervini.
Really?
I learned this from Ariel. I don't know, but he trades high. No. I learned it from Ben, who does Pattern Profits. That's his Twitter name. It was an awesome episode. If you're going to listen to one episode of this podcast about technical trading, listen to the Pattern Profit one. But he
Okay.
said that Mark Minervini trades high flag breakouts, and he is currently the number one in like the World Trading Championship. He's like number one by, I mean, millions and millions of dollars. So
Wow. All right, I'll
yeah,
definitely do that. That's what I'm
yeah,
trying to gear myself towards.
yeah. Check him out.
That's crazy.
Anyway, yeah. I mean, so it's clearly a very profitable strategy.
Yes, absolutely. And especially like once you start seeing it, like if you watch my stream, I go over it
Hmm.
and you'll see the VP, like the volume that's behind it. It's low risk. It's very easy to like, hey, I'm going to enter here. The risk, you know where you're going to exit if it doesn't work. Like it's,
Is your stop below the EMA or is it like the bottom of the flag?
so yes, it's going to be when the flag is no longer a flag. You
Okay.
know what I mean? So if the flag,
Yeah.
I kind of give myself like a 10, 20 cent stop loss. Sometimes you get caught in flushes. It's inevitable. It happens. You
Right.
just gotta. It comes with the game, right? But usually, I once I don't see buyer step up, if I'm in a position, that's one thing I'm real big on too. If I'm in a position and this is my pattern, and once I hit the buy button, I'm trying to time it to where it's about to squeeze or start to reverse. I want buyers to step up. I want to see the
Yep.
tape start to speed. I want to see the ask wall start to get like demolished. And if that doesn't
Slapped.
happen, yeah, slapped. Like I want to see him start to get slapped. Buyers are stepping up, and I don't like trades to go against me. Like I tell everyone in voice, like if you buy something and it starts to go 20, 30 cents against you, it now has to go 20, 30 cents up for you to be break even. Now it has to go 20, 30 cents for you to be profitable. So if you just cut it and re-enter on strength,
Hmm.
you're going to save
Yeah.
yourself that. I hope this goes back up. I hope, or
Sure.
average down, take more size, and then it not work. And now you're cutting for a bigger loss.
Yeah. Whew. Do not like to average down. Um, do you know the percentage of success in a like bullish flag break? Do you know how Do you
So
understand that question?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, okay. And I back tested this, and even this week, my success rate right now has probably been like 96%, but it has to be,
Dang.
yeah, it has to be early. And what I mean by early, it has to be the front side, it has to be the first one or two bull flags on the 5 minute.
Okay.
And this week, or even yesterday, or Friday, yeah, Friday. Oh yeah, that was yesterday. For me, I'm in the future right now. There was a
It's
couple.
Saturday here. It was
Oh,
yesterday.
okay, all right, cool. Um, there was we nailed a couple flags, right? And then there was flags setting up that were super extended. Once you get that third flag that's super extended, or a flag that didn't form on the bottom or the beginning of the trade, and it's starting to get extended, like at the top of the move, running into big areas of resistance, they really don't work that well. And I have a couple examples that I'm going to go over this Sunday on them. Catch them early. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be profitable because it's
Whoa.
still the front side. And I'm not a financial advisor, like at all, but it
Yeah,
has to
we
it
don't do
has to make
any
sense though.
financial advice on
Yeah,
this
yeah,
podcast.
yeah, yeah. No, no, it's just something like I back tested for a while. Like I have a folder full of hundreds of flags, and they're on names that have a catalyst. It's not anything like I will never play a flag on a socially ran stock. Anything that's getting pumped or like, hey, buy this is gonna go, this is, and you look at the volume and it's not there, I'll never do it. Just won't even like try it. But if there's that abnormal volume, because if you think about it, as traders,
Hmm.
I mean, if I buy something for 5,000 shares and it goes and I sell it right there, I'm just riding the momentum. I'm
Sure.
not, yeah, I'm not the one creating it. It's just there's
Yeah.
millions of shares going through on the 1 minute, you know?
And you're not going to crash it when you sell your
Exactly.
5,000
Yeah,
shares or 10,000
exactly.
shares or
And
whatever.
yep. And I tried this. And so far I think the biggest size I took was like 20, about 20,000, over a little over 20,000 shares. And I literally
Hmm.
bought it and sold and I didn't even see it budge. It just kept going. I got filled instantly and it just ripped. I'm like, wow, you know?
My friend and I were in a swing this week that just like was not working. And he's like, we had pretty big size in this swing. And I just saw like my P&L go like down, like in a matter of maybe 15 seconds, just like huge red candle. And then I got a message from him and he was like, yo, I'm out. And I was like,
Yeah.
couldn't have told
See,
me?
yeah.
Like screwed me here.
Yeah, yep.
Anyway,
That's
lesson learned.
yeah. Yep. Yep, exactly. So that right there, believe it or not, will happen in plays that don't have a lot of volume.
Mm-hmm.
Even intraday, like if you're seeing, or in the backside of moves, like if the volume is gone and there's other people buying like 10, 20, 30, 50,000 shares, and if they're like, hey, this is not working, all they got to do is just market dump it and then forget about it. You're going to see this knife and things might even hold down after that.
Oh, yeah. Ooh,
Yeah.
halt down. Brad Mullins always says that being in a halt up is the best feeling in the entire like world. Like he
Yeah.
loves a halt up. And being in a halt down is truly the opposite. Like
Yeah.
just makes
Yep.
me kind of sick. Did you know that the chance of a wedge break being profitable is 50%? Like, which I guess makes sense. Like a wedge breakout's either going to go up or down. I was trying to play wedges for like 6 months, being like, oh, this is a wedge. Like it's really going to break out here. But a flag is different
Yeah.
than a wedge, right? But
Hmm.
like I honestly, they look kind of similar. Like I don't know. I'm sure people listening are like, well, no shit, Blaine. Like, of course, those are different. It took me a while to learn that though. And I love the percentage success on certain patterns. Our friend Happy Gilmore always talks about an inverse head and shoulders being the most like profitable success rate on a pattern, but it's only 83%. So you're telling me something better. Love
Yeah.
a high percentage
Yeah. It's
pattern.
It's definitely high, like especially if you catch it early and it's organic. There's just so much volume. Like, if you look at the day, there's already like 50 million volume for the day. 20, 30, whatever it is, rather than looking at something that has a couple mil. And the average daily is like 20 mil. It's nice. Like, and every flag's gonna be different. Some of them are gonna give you 20, 30 cents. Some of them are gonna give you a couple dollars. It just depends. RNXT was a great one that we traded last week too.
Mm-hmm.
That produced, like almost $2.30 off the flag, buying it like right out of a low volume pullback. It just depends, and it's being early and not hesitating to actually grab the bottom of the flag.
Why do you think so I've never struggled with hesitating, like never been a problem for me. Over trading, massive problem. Hesitating, no problem. There are a lot of people that struggle with hesitation. Why do you think that is? Just nervous about the loss?
Yes, and I think it's hesitating because they're not confident in the play.
Uh-huh.
It's like how many times like why like if you ask yourself like why are you taking this trade or especially if you take it with size because then it starts to get like as soon as just say you take 5,000 shares and it starts to go down 10 cents, that's $500. And 20 cents, that's 1,000. So I think it's the confidence. Like I've seen these patterns happen for about a year now, and that's all I play. And I do play other things, but I
Mm-hmm.
won't play with size. That's the difference.
Interesting.
Yes, I will play certain patterns with
Really
sign
interesting.
with size, and other
Uh-huh.
things I'll immediately lay off the gas, and I'll play with some size, but nothing that's gonna make me go red on the day. Nothing that's gonna make me have to dig myself out of a hole.
Uh-huh.
It's you have to change your size when you're trying to play other things, especially if you haven't back tested it. Like even those wedges that you talked about, and I know traders are probably nailing them, right? But if you again step back and figure out why they're working, where they're working, is this like a technical wedge breakout on the daily, and how many times is that technical wedge breakout? Is it a wedge on a stock that has a great catalyst or has 52-week high volume? Those are the things that you want to ask yourself in any pattern or any type of setup you're taking. When you're trading, rather than just hitting everything or buying the first pullback on something, or understanding once a move is done for the bulls, because that's what I am. I'm not going to trade this anymore. Like I missed my opportunity today, so now when
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow happens, I'm going to try to capitalize on it. Like I'm not going to hesitate now because I've seen this setup, I've seen this pattern. It has the right volume. It's setting up for all in the everything checks off in the box. Now I'm going to take it, and then I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, no, no. You finish.
Um, Once you start doing that, the hesitation will stop. It's going to be like it's like a twitch muscle. You start training yourself like to hit this. Like, all right, now I'm going to nail this. Now I'm going to nail this. Okay, now I'm getting more confident. Let me add a couple hundred more shares. Instead of taking five, let me grab 1,000 now. Let me start seeing how the success rate, the profitability rate on it. And I think that's it. Because when a lot of people are like, I don't know if I should take this, I think it's because they haven't back tested it. Like they're not sure that this is going to work because one, they haven't exposed themselves to that situation. Two, back testing, and then three, they don't know the outcome of it.
Mm-hmm.
So when I play those 5-minute setups, I've seen the outcome so many times, like the success rate on it, and that's why when you hear me in voice, the guys will hear me, the guys and girls will hear me. I'm confident. I'm going to stay calm, collective. I need to see this level break, and once this level breaks, I want to see the ramping volume. Those are the things that are like I'm like okay, and sometimes things need to breathe, which is
Mm-hmm.
okay. And the best thing to do if things need more time to breathe, to exit and then re-enter. instead of letting things go against you. And that's how, like, the hesitations definitely, that's how my hesitation stopped. Was,
So you were a hesitator.
oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I hesitated, like, trust me. So I traded with 100 shares for months, just 100 at a time on back testing this. 100 shares, 100 shares, 100 shares. Then I got to 250, 500, 1,000. I mean, now I'm slapping like 1,500, 2,500, 5,000, 10K at a time now. It just depends on the price of the stock, obviously.
Yeah. So I feel like I had just kind of a light bulb moment back a few minutes ago. So my strategy, super simple, like beginner strategy, I guess, works for me. I like a EMA rider. Like I don't need super, super high volume. I just need like very bullish chart. I love something that will ride the 9 EMA all day, pull back to the 20, and then I'll enter on the 20, put a stop right below the 20. So
Hmm.
really good risk reward. I know exactly what I'm doing and will like, I feel very confident taking, I mean, that it's like I'll take 1,000, 1,500 shares right there, which is a lot for me, knowing exactly where my stop's going to be. I have no anxiety about if this, like, that's just my strategy. And then recently, I've been trying to do like test some other strategies, like well, like buying at support, let's
Hmm.
say. That's not something that I usually do. Like I just do my same thing over and over. And I've been trying to buy at support and I'll take my same size, but I'm like not quite as confident on exactly where to put my stop. It's
Right.
just, I feel shakier and I've been taking like massive losses
Hmm.
on the things that I am not quite as sure about. And starting Monday, I'm going to stop doing that.
Right. And that's exactly it. Like, you're starting something new, so you have to size down, because maybe this new strategy potentially could work, but you have to figure out why it's working, where it's working, and how it's working. But you need to build the confidence of, so start with 100 shares. Maybe we have this guy, Daz Trader, Daz Bear. He's trading with 5 shares, 10 shares, and he's been doing that for weeks now. And even sometimes then he'll make like 50, $100, but the point with that is he's learning like how to trade, where to trade, and why.
Yep.
Keeping his risk so minimal, like, where he'll lose, pennies, rather than hundreds or thousands of dollars. So that's really big. If you're gonna try something, because this guy Richie told me that, like, if you're gonna try something new, size down completely. Size down, because you don't want to lose the confidence in something that could potentially work, or scare yourself to take size tomorrow on something that can work.
For sure. And that, I really do feel like that was a light bulb moment because buying the 20 EMA on an all day EMA rider honestly is like a little bit boring. You're just
Yeah.
watching and watching and watching. So like I do, and I like trading. Like I kind of want to be, I want to be in the move.
Yeah.
I like watching everything. But if I could just limit myself to like, if it is not my play, then buy 100 shares.
Right. Yep.
Like that would stop the massive losses.
Yes.
So if you just change my trading journey, I'm going to send you a Rolex when I'm a millionaire.
No, no, no. If anything, Pokemon cards. All right. I'm a big Pokemon freak.
I told you in real ones, my son is super into Pokemon.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I got
I'm
my son
learning.
into it, and he's starting to like do something else. So I'm like, sweet, all of it's for me now.
Mine.
Yeah, mine. Yeah.
Yeah. Did your son ever go through a Beyblades phase?
Yeah. Yeah. Beyblades,
We probably
Dragon Ball
have
Z.
like 700 Beyblades.
Oh my god.
He went through a 3-year phase. It's all he wanted for anything and everything. So we just have a like gallons of plug bags full of Beyblades. He's losing interest.
Yep. And then they'll
Oh,
just
we're
sit
gonna
there
go
in a
with it.
box, and
Yeah.
he'll want something else. Yep, that's totally normal.
Cool. Well, I'm really kind of reeling with what you just said and how funny. That's not even like exactly what we were talking about, but Man, it really, really hits home. Do
Mhm.
you is there anything else about your strategy that you want to go over that I haven't asked you, or would you, we have about 15 minutes left, would you want to do some questions? And I'm fine with either.
No, I think we touched the strategy, and then I think my stream too will like is definitely like more detailed into it.
Yes.
Um,
Which
and
I
then
will link in the show notes. So guys,
okay,
please check out this stream. And I was watching the stream this morning. The visuals help so
yes,
much. Like you did
yeah,
such a good job
thank you.
getting the good examples and all of that. So, please
Um,
do, guys, check that out.
yeah, definitely check it out, and then I'll be doing it again this Sunday.
Oh,
At like
perfect.
yeah, it's like 12 a.m. my time, and then 10 a.m. Eastern on sometime on Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern. And I'm gonna go over
Okay, so are
more.
you doing them every Sunday?
Yes, I'm gonna go over.
Okay.
Yes,
Now, let's say I want to start watching every Sunday. Do I go in real ones? Do I follow you on Twitter? How do I get the
yes.
link?
You can either follow me on Twitter. I have the
Mm-hmm.
Twitch. It's the same thing as my username. It's Mikey Underdog. Or you can find in the real ones. They have Ivan. He's really good with that. He's been showing up to them and recording them, and then
Uh-huh.
making a YouTube video out of it, and then posting it
Very
on
cool.
YouTube inside of the let me see. It is called. I'm sorry, hold on a second. I have my everything is. It's the VOD channel
Okay.
and the learning and questions inside the real ones.
Fantastic. There was one more question I wanted to ask you. So, all these stocks that you've traded this week, I have also traded. I mean, those are the plays this week.
Right.
I find them all on my Thinkorswim just highest percent gainer scanner, but I also have a trade ideas scanner. Like, how are you finding your plays?
Okay. Yeah. So I have trade ideas, and what I have is it's a small cap. I have it's a gappers list, and
Uh
then I
huh.
have a pre-market scanner that's I got it from somebody else, and it's like very sensitive.
Uh huh.
So as soon as I can hear the ticker in my headsets, and that's how I find these stocks. I find them, and as long as it has abnormal volume and has news, I'm in there.
Cool.
Yeah. So
How
trade
many
ideas.
trades do you take per day, would you say?
Yesterday, I think I traded like 5 or 6 different stocks,
Uh huh.
and I might, depending on like how many setups I see, I might take like 3 or 4 trades. Sometimes I'll nail a big one on it, and I won't even trade it anymore, even if it keeps
Mm-hmm.
going up, because I like again I nailed like my setup on there, my pattern.
Yeah.
So I've kind of just will accept like that gain and not play the choppiness or something that gets too extended where there's a lot more risk.
You know what I like about your style is you are making the market work for you.
Yes,
I
exactly.
like that a lot. And that's the key. That's the light
Yep,
bulb, I
yep,
think. You got to make the market work for
yep.
you.
You gotta find a way to ride with the momentum, and that's
Yep.
all I'm doing. That's why I don't play stocks that don't have any volume. Stocks that are just moving tick by tick. Because
So on a on a really good day when the market's hot, we have Momo, all of that. You're taking maybe 30 in and out trades per day. Is
mm,
that
probably,
okay? Cool.
probably. Oh, yeah. If like on what is it Thursday, we had 5 beautiful flag setups that really worked. So that's like 5 trades right there, and then playing bounce trades off them at key levels like high day breakouts, seeing if that would bounce. Probably a couple more, maybe like 15 times, maybe not 30.
Okay.
Yeah, try to. That's I've been trying to get really big on that because even like we're all human, right? We make these gains and then we start getting chopped up,
Yep.
and it's because we want more. So if we can stop being like that, because the market does, it runs off greed and fear, fear of missing out, and then getting too greedy. and we're keep playing. So now I've been like doing my best just to play these setups and try not to give back profits for the rest of the day, because I think that's the worst thing is when you nail a good play and
Mm-hmm.
say, whatever it is, $500, 1,000, it can go on,
Whatever. Yeah.
whatever, whatever it is, $100, and then now you're trading and you're getting chopped up, and now your P&L is $20 for the day.
Mm-hmm.
That hurts because you
Yeah.
nail
Yeah. Yeah.
something great, and what happens is you play all this choppy stuff, and you lose focus on the A plus setup, and then
Mm-hmm.
you don't focus on that more, and you get too distracted of all the noise, all the choppiness,
Yeah.
you know.
I do every single day. We'll play. I don't take a trade until 9:45. I don't do pre-market. I can't. I used to when the market was really hot. I did a lot of opening bell plays, but can't. I don't do that anymore. I don't
Yeah,
take a trade till 9:45. At 10:45, I'm always up like $500 or $600. Then I just cannot walk away. Like I like
yeah,
trading. So, by 2:30 that afternoon, I'll be up maybe $50 because I just like lunchtime chop. I just give it all back, and then in power
yeah.
hour, I'm like, I just need one good play. It's like you had three good plays at 9:45.
Exactly,
Like
exactly. Yep,
what's the problem here?
yep,
So that's me. I personally have, and I told you like I'll play the front side of a trade great, and then I'll just slowly give it all back.
yeah, yep. And then, so yeah, I would highly recommend to stop doing that. And
Yeah.
and the best thing too is like imagine nailing these plays right on the front side, and say that day you made $250. It was a great play. Now you're building confidence over it. So the next day you do it, it's another 250. You're gonna keep letting those compound, rates keep building, and then you're gonna see you're gonna have a nice week. Then you're gonna have a nice month,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're gonna be like, damn. Instead of your mind's gonna shift instead of I should have done this, and now it's gonna go to I must do this. It's gonna be a huge shift. Like I should trade. I should only trade this. I should only trade that, and then it's gonna be I must trade this. I must trade that, and then that's it. And it's going to feel real good. And that's something Warrior Trader does. He trades the first hot momentum, and then he's done. He either nails it or he doesn't. And then he calls it, and he wakes up tomorrow and then starts over.
I have to do that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it'll feel so good because then you're like, wow, I just made, say you made $600, like, you did yesterday. And then the next day you make 600. And then the next day, now you're up like 3, 4K for the week. That feels
Right.
good. And then,
Yeah.
do that for a whole month. You just made 5 piggies for the whole month. Now do that for a year.
Also, I could get my life back,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Sitting in this chair from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., like my back hurts, my
Right.
eyes hurt,
Yep.
I'm getting migraines. Like it's not good for my health to
Yeah.
just sit here all day. And emotionally, like you're saying, that's really tough to watch what was $600 become like yesterday, what was $600 became $3. And I was just
Right.
happy to get out alive.
Yeah. Yep.
Feels
And
shitty.
and then you have to remember too, like people who work normal jobs, like how much are they making? Is it $100 a day, 120, 150? Even people with really good jobs, they make $200 to $300 a day. If you nail $600, you just doubled what someone who just went to school for God knows how long, and someone who's in debt for this, and we have to we have to step back sometimes and appreciate, like, even on my smallest days where it's a couple $100, I'm like, psh, made a couple $100. That's better than I only make like 3K a month in the military. I can make that in one trade.
Yeah.
In perspective. So you have to realize, like, you're not working 8 to 10 hours. You don't have a boss. It's you versus you, and to be disciplined. If you can check yourself every single time, like, hold on, wait a minute, is this something I would take right now? Like, or
Hmm.
am I getting bored, or am I having FOMO? Like, let me just stop. And then something's just crazy, because Bob said this earlier. He's like, if you're having FOMO, trade with one share. If you want to be a part of it, trade with one share. Just hit the buy button with one share. If it goes against you, who cares? If it rips, who cares? Like
Right.
that was awesome. Like I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
And I have personally
Yeah.
done that a few times now.
Right. And also you don't
Get
like,
back
God,
your
I don't want to
gains.
go paper trade. Right. Oh, I don't want
Yeah.
to give back my gains, and I don't want to switch over to paper trading. I'm like, I
Yeah.
have graduated
No.
from paper
Yeah.
trading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
never
And
paper
people
traded
give me
at
that
all.
advice all the time. Just paper trade. I'm like,
Yeah.
no. What I should do is, I'm a painter, like a artist painter. Like, what I should do is go do my passions, like
Yeah.
not
Like,
sit here and
hmm
freaking paper trade. But and anyway, I do will sit here and trade all day to my
yeah.
own detriment.
Yeah. I'm telling you, the sooner you stop and you just focus on the A+ setups, you hit the gas and you stop and just walk away, you'll start to get into that routine and it'll feel so much better. Like that's my goal because I do trade at night and sometimes I'm hanging out in voice all night, pulling an all-nighter and then going to work like
Sure.
2 hours later.
Sure.
But the goal is to hit the gas and the momentum and then go spend time with the family, go do the hobbies, go fishing, go do the things that you enjoy to do. And
Mhm.
I feel like the purpose is or teach people like trade and then teach, trade and teach. The purpose is to stop working these 8 to 10 hour shifts, to stop, being stuck in one spot. Now, that's the purpose, like be financially stable and then to do whatever you want. So don't get glued to the chair for 12 hours. Find a way
For
to
sure.
avoid that.
Yeah. Man, I feel like I just got like a personal coaching session. We're here to talk about you. I make you talk about my trading. This happens every podcast. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm just going to
that's
use this
fine.
time
I
for.
love it. That's fine.
Well, I mean, I really appreciate it. I'm trying to think if I have any other. I don't, because I used up all the question time with my own questions. I'm trying to think like if I have any other. Oh, do you have a monetary goal every day, or are you just trading what's in front of you and let the gains come as they
Yes.
will?
Yep. Yes. Yeah. I'm trading the setups. I'm trying to
Uh-huh.
squeeze every dollar out of it, and then I'm trying to get better and better of making more the next day. Or like, how can I get
Okay.
better? Like, sizing up. But no, I don't really have a goal. What I will do is once I start taking too many paper cuts, like over trading, I'll look at my P
Mm-hmm.
and L and be like, all right, I'm done. Because I've done that. Had a day where I was up really big and then it gave back like, you know, like say I gave back like 3 grand of it, and I was like, let me just. I want to finish red. I mean green, not red. I want to
Yeah.
finish green, and let me just stop. Like and it makes you realize again, like what I'm talking about is hitting these plays premature, early, and then avoiding them on the backside because the success
Yep.
rate is completely different. It's a wake up call
And
for myself too as well.
yeah. Another thing I think I might do is I've been posting my P&L on Twitter. And I'm very like hard on myself. Like once that P&L is up there, I'm done because I like
Yeah,
accountability is a huge thing for me. So I could just start posting my P&L at 11 every day and be like,
yeah,
promise you I'm not
absolutely.
taking any more trades.
Yeah. But you have to
Yeah.
realize why. So I think, again, it's realize why you're making that money there. And if you can truly understand that aspect, you're going to stop playing the chop. You're going to stop playing the
Yeah.
backside. And then you're going to focus more on the front side. And you're just going to get better and better at it.
Is it is the reason the chop happens because the volume dies off midday? Is that
Absolutely. Yep.
okay?
Because for the patterns that I play, it needs
Mm-hmm.
volume. So if it doesn't have
Right.
volume, the success rate is not, what it is.
For
If there's no
sure.
volume, if there's no volume on both sides, the stock will just trade sideways. If everyone's just selling and selling it, it's going to go down. If people are buying, it's going to go up. So yeah, once the momentum is starting to die out, lunchtime, a lot of people are super satisfied with taking their gains. so they won't trade it anymore, and then there's no more volume. And then if you have these
Mm-hmm.
bigger whales, hedge funds, anything that's guys that are like buying like hundreds of thousands of shares, that's gone. So the momentum's going to start to dry up.
I wonder if that's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, like that the volume's going to dry up midday, because we've all heard that and like it does happen. But I'm sure there's tons of people like you and me just sitting at our desk all day long. But
Yeah.
you know what?
Yeah.
Sort of like August is going to be bad. Like I wonder if that's also kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, because
Yeah.
I traded every day of August.
Yeah. I had my best month in August.
Congrats. I've
Thank
been the last like 2 or 3 weeks, I've been really wishing for August back, because August, you knew it was going to be bad, and I knew how to like trade that. And then
Yeah.
now I think I have an expectation that it's going to be good, and it's been more disappointing
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I have taken up a full hour of your time, and I am going to go back and listen to this episode
Okay.
again and again. Thank you so much
Sweet.
just for like helping me realize this stuff. I like multiple light bulb moments, and I really, really, really appreciate that.
You're welcome. Sweet. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it too. And I hope this helps
Yeah, I
everyone.
hope you'll come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would really like to figure out a way to be able to look at people's screen. I think that would be helpful for everyone. So as soon as I figure out a way to do that,
Okay.
I'd love you to walk me through some charts.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to. Yeah. And then it can
Cool.
help you and help everyone else too. And
Perfect.
if you're
Well,
available,
once
do my
again,
stream
yes.
Sunday.
Once again, to everyone who submitted questions and I didn't get to them, that's my fault. I monopolized the interview, but you guys are used to that by now. So anyway, thank you so much. And you can submit those questions right on Twitch on Sundays.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Well, thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
Thank you to our producer, Joel Edwards and Chesley Lowe for the banjo music. Please like, subscribe, and share this on social media. We appreciate you guys.
By accessing this podcast, you acknowledge that the Penny Lane podcast makes no warranty, guarantee, or representation as to the accuracy or sufficiency of the information featured in this podcast. The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast are for general information only, and any reliance on the information provided in this podcast is done at your own risk. This podcast should not be considered professional or financial advice. Unless specifically stated otherwise, the Penny Lane podcast does not endorse, approve, recommend, or certify any information, product, process, service, or organization presented or mentioned in this podcast, and information from this podcast should not be referenced in any way to imply such approval or endorsement. The third-party materials or content of any third-party site referenced in this podcast do not necessarily reflect the opinions, standards, or policies of the Penny Lane podcast. The Penny Lane podcast assumes no responsibility or liability for the accuracy or completeness of the content contained in third-party materials or on third-party sites referenced in this podcast, or the compliance with applicable laws of such materials and/or links referenced herein.